You know, it always seemed like the more you know about a person, the better you can communicate to them. That was sort of the hypothesis all along. But I think, when we started out, knowing about somebody, meaning data, was not plentiful and not easily available. So that was a bit of a challenge. I think over the last few years, that has become plentiful and available. So it has become not only a possibility but a reality, and we're working with many brands to use that data to create very personally relevant and engaging creatives. I mean, the idea is that in the old days of TV and print and so on, we said, okay, let's come up with that one big idea, and we're just going to push it out to as many people as we can. And it was all about the idea. The better the idea, the more you got people engaged. But I think now there's the possibility and even a requirement to get much, much more precise. But the problem is now if you have to create, let's say you have 1,000 micro segments of people or audiences, and you say, I want to say something different to each of them, and just the sheer process of creating that many ads and getting them to production and launch is just mind-boggling and extraordinarily expensive. So I think the technology we developed was about how can we scale that, right? So the idea of a dynamic canvas was, well, let's take a creative and break it down into its elements. Well, there's a video in there, there's an image, there's some copy. Well, instead of one line of copy, you could have 1,000 lines of copy that you just dynamically swap out. Instead of one video, you could have 50 videos, and you show that copy of that video based on who you're serving the creative to. So that's the software that we developed. And then the idea was, how do you tie it into data? Because the data is what tells you which video and which piece of copy an individual should see. And so we built that into the software too, which is a data integration layer, and then you had to specify the rules. Okay, if I have a person who saw this product on my website, and I know they bought a car in the last 3 months, here's what I should say to them. And so it's really packaging all of that technology together into one product that makes it possible and scalable. Just 2 weeks ago, we closed a round of financing led by you and Mr. Jones, and we're pretty excited about that because it's two things. One is a recognition by David Jones and team, and as you know, David Jones was a former CEO of Havas Media, so knows a thing or two about advertising. But also, as a team, invest, an acknowledgement that we have market-leading technology in this particular area and making the investment. What that investment allows us to do is continue to grow and scale the business. We plan to invest some of it in technology because we think this is a very vast and big field and want to stay ahead of the game as we have. And the other is just expanding our global footprint, particularly in Europe and Asia. So we've got the beginnings of an office in both of those areas, but we plan to spend a lot of that money growing in those two markets.
Well, congratulations, 9 years, and we're on Cannes with WPP. It must be exciting to sort of be recognized in a way for a vision you've had before many others.
Yes, very exciting. And in fact, as early as a year and a half ago, I wrote a book about this because I was determined to try to, if nothing, educate people on how important this was and so on, to see it here on stage with really kind of the who's who of the industry talking about this as being an imperative for brands. It's pretty exciting, and I think some ideas just take time, and you just have to be patient and work through it, and in many ways demonstrate it, right? Anybody can talk about something being important, but can you actually show brands that it works? So yeah, very, very exciting to be here.